Welcome, everybody. I appreciate your time. I appreciate you being here. And if you're listening to this on the recording, that's wonderful as well. We have a special treat. Todd Rowland is with us and he's going to share his vision. I just kind of wanted, an opportunity for the newer folks to see some of the people that are leading the team. And Todd is a specialist. He's got a degree in nutrition and he is a networker. I was in a different company with him years ago on separate teams, but I got to see what he was doing there. And he built that literally from the ground up. And he is leading our team. We've got Susan Cameron with us as well, who is an absolute wizard at this. So grab your notebooks and we're going to introduce you to some of the leadership as well. Carmen and Credwin are here, so I'm really, really excited about tonight, and I'm grateful that you guys are all here, and I'm grateful for the leadership for what they're doing for us. So with that, take it away, Todd.
Yeah, so Shorty, why don't we start with you, Carmen and Creddy, and talk a bit for just a second about why y'all chose PartnerCo and I know that you just went officer last week. Credwin is vice president, about to go officer. Carmen's officer. Y'all are really flying up the ranks. Why don't y'all share a little bit about yourselves and why you made that decision and what your plans are? And if you want to recognize some of your leaders, same thing. And then I'll get into the vision, and Susan's going to get into how to utilize the 10 packs to make 47,000 your fifth month, because she did it.
That's awesome. Thanks, Todd.
And that's US dollars. That'd have been about 60,000 in Canada.
About 5 million Canadian. So I've been in the networking field since the early 90s with Amway, and I understand leverage very, very well. I just don't have any in my career because if I'm not holding on to dental instruments, I'm not earning money. So I've tried
Just
several
leave it then.
things over the years, and nothing really worked out that famously, with the exception of the company that I was in that Todd was with. And I guess I was looking for the right vehicle. Everything that I've done to this point has prepared me for this moment in time with this company. So I believe the perfect storm has come together. And the good news for everyone listening to this is we are ahead of the curve. We're finally ahead of the growth. And I predict a tidal wave of growth is coming. I believe this company is going to go vertical as far as growth goes and revenue and all that cool stuff. So they literally bend over backwards to help us make money. And I have never, ever seen that in this industry before. So the company's on our side, the leadership, the ownership, I just can't say enough about it. And everything is came for. So I hope that's what everybody gets out of this. And the thing that excites me the most, I guess, is the vision of where we're headed. Like, I can't wait to look back at this moment in time a year from now to see what everyone's done and where everyone's at, right? So I'm very excited about this. I feel grateful that I was actually approached about it. And obviously I said yes, and I've never regretted that. And I have not seen the bad part. A lot of things are like, oh, it's really great, except for you have to do this, or we don't like doing that, or whatever. That's not here. So it's a well-oiled machine, and I'm very grateful and tickled to be here. So
How many people do you have on your team in this short amount of time?
Uh, to be honest, I don't know. I've sponsored 61, I think, personally, and I don't know, there must be over 100. I've never really looked.
So Creddy, Shorty's in your business. How does that feel?
You're muted, Creddy.
Oh. Hey, Shorty. Hey, Todd, Carmen, everybody. It feels absolutely amazing that he actually jumped on board to have him give me a call, come on and join us. So I decided to do this with Carmen back in January, and I basically haven't looked back. I was had a little bit of PTSD with some other networking marketing before, and I never wanted to join again.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I'd just try this out one more time, and it's not like anything I've ever done before. The work kind of plays out for you guys. So yeah, so thank you.
And Carmen, you go ahead and share.
Okay.
And Carmen, I think you've got about 600 people on your team already in 5 months or 6 months, however long it's been.
Yeah, I think we've reached about 100, I don't know, 620-ish, I think, this week. Thanks to Shorty. I think he's blowing things up right now, I tell you. Yeah, you know, I've been in this industry for 20 years, and I've been at the top of a couple other companies over the years. And I didn't think I was really looking for anything either until this company showed up. And I just think the whole thing with this is with this system of growth that we have with this company, it just really, really shows people how to get into action, gets things duplicating quickly, gets people making money quickly. And then with that, on top of that, we got the best products in the world as far as I'm concerned. And I know Credwin doesn't edify herself at all, but I'll tell you what I know about Credwin. When we first got going with this company, I think it was in February, or it was March, when they did that, I don't know, bring in 12 thing for like a whole world, like, you know, whatever that was, a promo. And Credwin and I made a decision, and Ginny and Jana, a couple people on our teams, and we decided that we were going to go for 12. And I think we all kind of got started, and we did about 10 days. Each of us got 12 people personally. And why was that? Because we made a decision, we had conviction, and we had belief in what we were doing. And I think that's what really created momentum with our team. We got really excited, and I think that's around when Shorty came in, right before he went to Mexico, and we've just been blowing it up ever since. And I think the biggest thing for me to, like, you know, when I first got started was just my very first Facebook post on January 3rd, when I shared my post and my phone blew up. And I honestly thought the system of growth posts were kind of tacky and tasteless, to be honest, until I recognized the value in these posts that are actually they're real people with real results, taking real products that are working for them and changing their lives. And that's when my heart got involved. And so I think for the first month, I never looked up. And what I recognized from that was there's such a need out there. You know, people are really looking and searching for something that, you know, for their health, financially. Like, life isn't getting easier out there. We just have to get more creative and create, you know, financial freedom for people. And when you come into something like this with heart to help people, that's when you truly win. And I'm just really grateful to be here. So I don't want to take up much time, because I'm pretty excited that we've got Susan Cameron on and Todd Rowland, and they're going to share vision, and they're going to share, and then Susan's going to show us how she makes all the money, and we want to follow her lead. So go ahead, back to you, Todd.
Okay, so what we're going to do real quick is we're going to kind of walk you through what's really going on here, and then Shorty stepped in and helped Susan Cameron with some horse people. And so Susan's returning the favor tonight, coming on to kind of share with y'all's team the magic of how she made 50,000 US in her 5th month, and how she's optimized 5 lines multiple weeks and working on getting a 6th line optimized, which is going to take her income to about 20,000 plus a week. There's a real art to it, and you're about to hear it, but we got to set the stage first. And by the way, there's a lot of rising leaders. I know a lot of you on Susan Cameron's team has showed up here tonight too. I see you, Debbie and Barb, and I know Deb is president, Barb is president, a lot of fast movers out there. And in our system, I know Debbie Justice made like 19,000 her first month in the company, maybe 50,000 her first 4 months. She's in Kansas City, and Deb is right around 70 years old. So Deb, we may bring you in a little bit too, because I don't think you were a big social media person when you started the system. But just know that this is a chance to lose weight and get healthy and to make money and to really kind of set a new tone for your life. You know, it's not easy changing directions, But if you want something different in life, it's inevitable. You've got to do something different. If you were getting what you wanted with what you were doing, you would already be satisfied. So change is what scares most people. And what we're going to do here is kind of help you walk through. By the way, the first Susan there, she's close to $1 million a year earner. She's been here a little while, but the other two, Chris and Joni and Susan Cameron, they both plus 400,000 their first 12 months in this company. So it is doable. Chris and Joni had a little bit of experience. Susan Cameron had none. It's a chance to travel the world, go see a lot of exotic places for free. And then if you decide to do this in a big way, as Shorty and Carmen and Credwin and a lot of you have decided, then it's a chance, to go see the world as you build. And you may build into Italy or France or Australia. You get to kind of have a direction and kind of choose where to put energy. So you can go build in your favorite places of the world. All you ever need is one right person in each spot to build your empire with. So I want to start here, and that is, this is not just about making money. I'm going to go back to you, Shorty, in just a second to let you know I'm about to come. But this is about building a passive residual income into your life, which translates into time freedom and choices. A lot of people are never really honest with themselves. That is that your finances dictate almost every decision you make. They decide what car you're going to drive. They decide what type of house you live in. They decide where your kids get to go to school. They decide if your kids get to go to school without student loans. They decide if you can retire. They decide where you go on vacation, what type of hotel you stay in. They decide how many days of the week you work, how much you take off. Like, while we're here on this earth, it doesn't matter if we're all working to get to heaven. As long as we keep living here, somebody wants our money every day. If you've got a family like mine, 4 children, and they're all cell phone bills are still on me. I just paid my AT&T bill, and it was like $1,100 for a phone bill. It's $500 to go to the grocery store. And that's sometimes multiple times per week if you're trying to feed children. It's car notes, it's insurance. And for those of you up in Canada, it's the exchange rate when you try to travel other places in the world. We live in Florida, and our whole Canadian population was down about 30% this year because it's just hard for the Canadians to come to Florida right now because it's a 40% surcharge on the exchange rate. So this is a chance to do something part-time and go create something better. So Shorty, if you don't mind, you mentioned it briefly. For those that don't know, Shorty, he's a horse dentist, and horse dentists make really good money, but he must trade his time for that money. If he doesn't trade his time, he doesn't collect. And Carmen and Credit, if you want to add in, you can.
What did you want me to address, Todd?
Trading time for money. Why are you chasing, like you're a horse dentist, you make good money, you live in, I see your house, it's very pretty. Like, why would somebody that's a professional like you do this little side business? Like, what are you chasing? What would they chase?
Well, one simple thing, it boils down to my livelihood is dependent upon the strength in my arms and the hours in the day. I just had surgery on my ankle a little over like probably 10 days ago. And while I was recovering from that, I didn't make any money in the dental field at all. But I was making money every day in the PartnerCo business. So what excites me, like I said, is the leverage, and wealthy people got wealthy from some form of leverage, whether it's people or money or time. And that's what most people don't have. So if you could educate people on one thing, if it was leverage, they would all want to do this or something like this because, most people in a job, you work for 8 hours and you get paid for those 8 hours. That will never, ever, ever happen again. You have to put in another 8 hours to get another 8 hours pay. So with this, I mean, I'm literally earning money while I'm sleeping because people got in not so I can make money. They got in so they could make money and get healthy, whatever. So everyone has their own reason for doing this. And it's a matter of, people can think of a million excuses to not do this, but they only really need one really good reason to do it. And that's what we're finding out from people that are looking at it. we try to find the reason they're going to do it. So my big thing, I guess, is security and time freedom.
And Carmen, I've heard you in front of the room share that you once upon a time had a really great offer to be a real estate agent, but you were a single mom raising 3 children, and you were not willing to sacrifice the time with the kids to chase that money. So talk a little bit about what the industry did for you, time freedom wise.
Okay, yeah. So years ago, when I kind of was a single mom, I raised 3 children, and I've had tons of opportunity around me to do like lots of different things. But I was a mom, and my number one priority when they were young was to be there for them 24/7. I wanted to be at the hockey games. I wanted to be at the soccer games, the dance, figure skating, skiing, and vacations, and be there for them to help them every day, right? So it's a lot. So so I had an opportunity to be hired as a realtor, and here in Vernon in the Okanagan, that's kind of when things were hitting. And I kind of went into the interview interviewing her rather than her interviewing me, because I wanted to know if it was something I really wanted to do. And not that there's anything against real estate, because I think it's a beautiful career. Although you sell a house one time, you get paid. And then that's that. You have to go out and sell another house to get paid. Unless you're a broker and running the whole firm, you really don't have any leverage of time. So you're selling time again. You're selling time for money. And there's never any really a guarantee of when you're going to sell another house. So I don't know. With this, I'm the same as Shorty. I was able to raise 3 kids with network marketing income. I was able to be there for them. And the biggest thing for me is freedom as well. Like even now that my kids are grown, I'm able to now fly to go see my kids, fly to go when they start having babies. I'll be able to be there for my grandbabies. I'm not stuck somewhere. I can go sit in Mexico on the beach, and I can build my business. This is where it's at in my world. And also the thing is that there's so many people out there right now that are in need. Even, you can come to this business and make a little bit of money, or you can make a lot of money, and we can help show you how to do both. And for me, that's really important. Like there's a lot of people out there that right now that even $400 extra a month could save them from losing their homes or help put some food on the table. Like it doesn't have to be big. For me, I want to come and make a lot of money, but we can do both here. And I just think time and freedom are our two, and health. We've got it all right here. So we've got the solution.
And then Credwin, because they've got you on here as a leader tonight. So I know that you're working, like you and your husband own a company. You have to spend hours there every day. So you're trying to maybe to create some time freedom. You want to share it, Credwin?
Yeah, so my husband and I just recently purchased a rental business here in Pincher Creek, Alberta. And it takes a lot of my time every day, morning and night, right? So the one thing about this business that diving in on it in January has really helped me, because working through all that time, I don't have a whole lot of time to be doing a lot of time with PartnerCo right now. And thank goodness, as we're talking about residual income, you guys, because I'm still getting paid every week. I look at my bank account and I got a check, and it just blows me away that I still have that, even though I've been able to had to put this on the shelf just for a little bit, but not for much longer. So that is my to get out of living in getting up and work every day. And hopefully in the next little while, next year or two, I'm going to be sitting on the beaches with Carmen and Shorty and drinking margaritas. That's what I want.
Love it. I love it. I love it. Okay. We're going to get back on track. And Susan Cameron, I'm about to come to you, just getting you ready. Okay. So just know the owners of your company have a 100-year plan, because residual income is only as good as the company's willingness or ability to keep paying it, even when you're not working anymore. It's very important the company's run right. Very important the company's profitable, because an unprofitable company can't keep paying money. Very important the company's very diversified. I was speaking with Brent Palmer a couple of days ago. He had just spent several days with the owners, and they were just talking about the United States. This year isn't quite as up as it was last year. It is up, but this year Canada's exploded. China's having its best couple of months lately. Australia has exploded. So we're very diversified. The company's always got growth going on somewhere in the world. We have an enormous portfolio of incredible products. So we all love the drops. but we are not limited to the drops. Like we could, if the drops went away tomorrow, we would just insert the other lead product and off to the races we go. And more importantly, we've even got new lead products coming. We've got a new collagen product going to be launched at PXP in Dallas that will absolutely be a social media gem that can do the same exact thing the drops are doing. So just know all that's coming. We, our company, and your personal business, you're in the middle of 7 different multi-billion-dollar industries. And what a person has to realize here is this money is going to exchange hands, whether we're in the middle of it or not. Somebody's gonna be. I mean, if you want Jeff Bezos to get one more $300 million yacht, just quit working and let him sell it all on Amazon, or let Walmart get it, or let whoever is the middleman passing along these types of products to the end consumer, because the end consumer is going to be buying them. And the amount of end consumers buying them is exponentially growing globally. If anything that COVID taught the world, it's self-responsibility. We've got to take care of our health. Everybody saw the ones that were most vulnerable were the most vulnerable. You need to go into any crisis with a healthy body. Credwin, I won't ask, but if you want to give us a roundabout, what does it cost to start a rental company?
In the millions it cost to start one for sure. It was
Shorty,
savings.
go ahead. Shorty, how many years does it take to be a horse dentist?
Probably 2 pretty solid years, I would think.
And what's the cost of that school?
Well, by the time you're all in with instruments and everything, it'd be probably 120 grand.
Okay, so you just heard millions to start the rental business, and now it's taking all of her time. Shorty only makes money when he's in a horse's mouth. No pun intended. It's just the way his job works. And they both spent enormous amounts of money to create that trading time for money situation. Although the rental business has residual income attached once you establish a customer base. But here is $30 one time. There's no downside risk. And when you pay that $30, you've got your global virtual nutrition store and access now to build a franchise out into 58 countries and to sell products into 58 countries. The sky is the limit for you. And you've got to understand 2 pieces of the money, and then we're going to bring Susan Cameron in and tell you how to exponentially build it. So just know you paid your $29.95. Once you do, you have to qualify your business. So Susan, what do you think about the 4-pack? Don't forget you got to unmute. I know you're screaming.
I think the 4-pack's something that everybody trains on the IPA, but in my opinion, a 4-pack is not a great. I just don't love 4-packs, guys. Several reasons. Number one, they don't really catch the vision up front, so they start low, and they're going to sell that 4-pack. You're going to sell a 4-pack super fast, and then you're going to need more product, and you're going to have to wait on shipping. And then the other thing I don't like about 4-pack is it takes too long to get to ultimate from the 4 boxes, right? That's a lot of conversations as a builder that you're having to have with that person. And the third reason that I don't like the 4-pack is I want my brand partners to make money. Susan Frank always teaches us how to make money. Like, we make money on this team, and you're going to make so much more money getting people to come in big. And they're always going to ask you, well, how did you start? Even if the chat goes, well, I started with a 4-pack, but I sold it in one day, and then I turned around and ordered 3 more 10-packs. All they're hearing is 4-pack. So, people may have different strategies for that, Todd. I'm not sure that, I'm 100% correct, but that's kind of how we do it over here.
Well, Susan Frank is number 1 in the world, and Susan Cameron is number 3 in the world. So y'all are doing things about as good as anybody out there in the world. So that's the reason that Shorty invited you on the call tonight. We want to know what 1 in 3 in the world are doing things. How did you make $400,000 your first 12 months with no experience? So just know Susan brings the majority of her team in, and her team brings the majority of their people in with a 30-pack at top pay. And I'm going to identify this real quick because there is a little difference between the US and Canada. So I'm just going to identify it. So there's the Canadian 4-pack. You're going to share 3, and yours will be free. You're going to sell at least at 200. I think some groups are selling at 221 up there, Canadian dollars. There is the US 10-pack. That's 500 points. You would need to sell 3 10-packs to go at top pay. That's the profitability, 2,100 if you went through 3 10-packs. There it is in Canada. It's a little bit more expensive. You sell a little bit more. It's just the Canadian exchange rates, the way life is. Life's not always fair. And this is the 30-pack. So this is the 30-pack in the U.S. If you do 30 in the U.S., it's 2,300. Selling at 167 is 2,760 in profit. If you buy 3 10-packs to get to 30 in Canada, it's going to be 3,570. And it's selling at 200. You're at 2,430 in product. I know that Christy Walsh, a lot of her team now is selling at 221. So at 221, you're going to be pushing much closer to $3,000 in profitability. It's up to you which one. Just never go lower than 200 in Canada. Never lower than 167 in the US. So let's talk this through now. Give us some reasons why to go top pay, and then talk us through the importance, how you do it, and more importantly, like, I watched you, I filmed it. You get every objection everybody else gets. I don't have the money. I don't think I can sell. I don't do social media. I don't know how to post. People won't buy from me. What would my friends think? Like, you hear every single thing everybody else hears. So walk us through how you overcome all that. I'm going to share my screen so they can just hear from you.
Where do I start, Todd? Where do I start? Number one, I don't like to hear no, I've been told. So that's where you have to start. You have to start with intention, right? Everything's intention. And you have to start with belief. So your friends, your family, your potential business partners, they're looking at you to believe, and see something that they don't see. And I have rock stars on here like Barb and Randy, and I guess you said Debbie. And one thing I kind of drive home, even though people don't understand match and check, when you come in and you get to top pay, several reasons. You're going to make the most amount of money. They're going to have a good inventory. They're going to make double the amount of money. So you make 30% instead of 15%. It's literally the exact same effort. And then lastly, you get match and check. So when you come in at Ultimate, that means you get paid 3 levels deep right off the bat. And we duplicate fast here. I mean, that's how I grew. I think I went to CEO in 10 weeks, and we just signed them up. And all of our team signed them up. So know that whenever you start sharing drops and you come in with 30 boxes of drops, start talking to business partners right off the bat. And we have somebody here, Todd. Todd did a presentation for us out in California. So we've got a new brand partner on here, Ken. Ken's like, you're going to put me on the spot, but this was really fun. So I was told about Ken and his wife before they came. So I'm always strategic and kind of who I'm looking for if we're just talking drop parties and 30 packs. So Todd will keep trying to put 4-packs on the screen, and the girl that was doing it, she was like, don't even show that 4-pack, Todd. And she was trying to make him take that off the screen. But I knew Ken and his wife had a water distribution company, and they were pretty successful in it. So they came just to support Cheryl. I don't think they really had an intention. Ken, you can unmute. And so I walked over there to talk to Ken, and I was like, hey, what's going on? And his wife is getting lit up by messages from her girlfriends saying, oh, don't get in the MLM and all this. And it's a pyramid scheme. And so I just showed Ken, and everybody can't do this, but I'm just kind of giving you some examples. You could show something else, right? People can make X amount of dollars. And so I showed Ken how much money I've made. I was like, how does this pyramid scheme look to you? He's like, everything's a pyramid scheme. Like, everything is. So we started sending them videos. But, Ken can talk a little bit about what he caught with the vision, because he was looking at me. He said, if these women that are messaging my wife come into this business, I'll be rich. And I was like, great, get the 30-pack. So he fills out the paperwork and he starts telling his wife, hey, I just signed you up. She is getting mad. She's like, Ken, do not sign me up. And I loved it. He marked her name out and he put Ken, and here Ken is today. So Ken, do you want to talk about like a little bit? You're a businessman. You guys are making pretty good money. And he also, I think you said you had 60 people that work under you. And I said, Ken, you already have a sales team basically built that we can start tapping into. He's only been in the business a few days. He's brand new. So is there anything, Ken, you want to talk to, like just from a new brand partner's perspective, and kind of why you caught the vision of getting the top pay from day one?
Well, I would say like it was mostly yours and Cheryl's vision, you know. I mean, I've heard about MLMs, you know, like and everyone talks about pyramid, and I told you, Susan, that I'm the owner of a water dealership, and I'm at the top of the pyramid. I mean, our company is a pyramid scheme, you know. It's like I mean, I look at this as a great opportunity because of the potential income and residual and all of that. But I mean, I'm taking pictures of these slides because I still don't know how I'm going to get paid on this stuff. I just know that the excitement that Susan and Cheryl and the Zooms that I've been on, I got a video from Shorty yesterday, and you know, I'm excited about it, but it's still like I don't know how much you know, how the pay structure and how the development works.
We're about to show you, Ken. You're about to see
Yeah,
it.
but you know, I've been getting blown up, like, you know, people saying, what are you doing? Are you serious? You know, type of stuff. And I think Susan's really helped me mentally to get through all of that. Just saying, you know what? They're not paying my bills. They're not going to be doing my retirement. You know, I'm going to be. And so anyway, that's pretty much anything else. I wasn't
That's
ready for this. I was
No,
just
you're
here.
amazing.
I
Way
wasn't
to
even
go. You're
planning to
stepping
be on
into
this.
and and he's credible, you guys. He has a lot of credibility. He's on boards. He's right. I think with city council, like this guy's network. So all you need is if you have a little bit of credibility, if you have a little bit of network, if you can post on social media, pick your poison and just show up. Like he's showing up, he's seeing, okay, I'm going to take it step by step. And we're going to keep it super simple. There's two things you need to make money in this business, Ken. You need to get customers and you need to sign up brand partners with 30 packs. And then you teach them to do the same. And you teach them to do the same. And you teach them to do the same. And we have the duplicatable system that if you just plug into it, everything you need is in boards. Everything that you need is going to be through that, and get people on three-way calls, get them excited. It's all here. So yeah, Todd's great at explaining how you're going to make money and tap into this leverage and
So
gonna
Susan,
make $1 million a month.
we're about
Ken?
to
Exactly.
we're about to move in the pay plan, but Susan, if you don't mind, I want to ask you a couple of questions that everybody's going to get.
Okay.
You just covered the pyramid one, and the one thing I do love about business owners like Ken is you're not ever going to get negativity from people that make good money that own businesses. Like they own business. The negativity and the cruel comments generally come from people that don't own businesses. It could be a spouse of somebody. It's not but if they're in the mix of having to work every day with a bunch of employees, they get it. They have emotional capital and everything it takes here. And you get, negativity from broke people because that's the reason they're broke. They don't have open minds. They're very closed. They stay in a very small niche, and you can't get ahead in today's world in a small niche. You got to do something that the masses aren't doing, but everybody's going to hear the same thing. So first thing people hear all the time when they start talking about our system of posting and selling is, I don't really do social media. I've got an account, but I don't post. Like, what do you say to that person?
What do I say, Todd?
Yeah, if I tell you I don't
you,
have I don't
you,
post.
what, two different things. Most I'm like, let me see. Are you on Facebook? Because most of the time they really are. They're just like, oh, I don't do social
Yeah, I'm
media.
there,
So
but I never make a post, Susan. I just have it.
use Susan Frank's testimony. Her testimony, she's #1 in the world, was, hey, the only thing that I would post is one time a year, a picture of my kids in their matching Christmas pajamas. That's all she would post, you guys, and she's #1 in the world now. That
I,
kind
I
of
can't I can't sell. Like I don't know how to sell.
you don't need to sell, you just share. Look at all these people that aren't salesmen. And I really feel this way. Most people in this industry are better if they're not salesmen, because guess what? When you do that post, people are going to be like, wait, why is she sharing this? Like, that's not something that she does. Those people blow it up. Like, you're going to do amazing. Speak life. I just keep hearing speak life, get excited, and speak more life. Right, Barb? Barb has been pulling them in this last couple weeks. I think in a little bit, Todd, we need to call on this girl. She's like, I put this nurse practitioner in my business. I put this doctor in my business. And like today, it was blowing up so much I couldn't even look at the feed. I was like, okay, girl, I got to call you. I don't even know how many people. Like, do you need help? It looks like you're doing it. Great job. High five.
That's called duplication. You were doing that. Now she's doing that. It's fun when those people take off. Yeah, Barb, anybody wants to chime in or ask questions,
Chime
can.
in, Barb, because you guys have great, y'all are amazing.
Oh my goodness. Well, you know how my thoughts, right? You know, of course, I was on social media. I like to, uplift people and things of that nature. But this was the most simplest system that I've ever experienced. I just did what I was told. Susan's personality is infectious. Susan Frank's knowledge is amazing. And between the both of them and just doing what they told me to do, I was blown away the first day. Because I didn't know that I was that much of an influence on social media. I really didn't until the first day. Then everybody was asking me, what are you doing? What are the drops? Because yeah, a little bit, because I offer good products that work for me. And that's what I share in the past. I've been doing this industry for 15 years, not with PartnerCo, but other good products, right? So some of the earliest comments was, Barb, we know you really, really represent good products. What are you doing now? What are you doing now? And that just really lifted me up. I said, dang, they notice. So recently, it's just going on that belief, and my belief, my mantra is God is on the move. Because I didn't know what else to say. I wasn't the business tycoon or a person like Susan, right? But I'm learning to be. And the conversations that I've been having lately is more like Todd, more like Susan, more like Susan Frank. So it's really remarkable.
And you and Randy y'all changed your physical health and your financial whereabouts. I think you've redone the kitchen and now maybe you're just buying a new house.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
exactly. We're done with fixing anymore. So we're going to just buy a new house that's complete.
That's what
Because we
happens when
can.
you go president and start making 4,000 or 5,000 a week. The mindset starts to change a little.
Exactly.
Thank you, PartnerCo.
Does anybody else have a question they want to ask Susan about how to get 3 10-packs in Canada or a 30-pack in the US? Does anybody have a like something that inhibits that you hear all the time you don't know how to overcome? Because Susan can overcome anything. I've watched her. If not, I'm going to share my screen and go into the money.
Hey, I have one question I want to say to Susan. Susan, so what if I'm sitting here and I'm telling you, I just don't have the money. I just don't have the money. What would you say to me?
So Canada's going to be a little bit different. So in the US, which it sounds like you guys are working on that, we have PayPal Afterpay. So that's an option to do it. So I'm like, I don't know if this is right coaching, but I'm like, so do you have a credit card in that wallet? Do you have a stash of money? Do you have something you can sell? Well, go look around your house. Like I've even had people sell a couple things. Do you want different? Like, do you want different? How much are you really spending out eating out? Like, have you looked at your budget? I'll just kind of go any way I can go to overcome that because people can find the money. And when they say I don't have the money, you guys, that literally doesn't mean that they don't have the money. Like I've seen time and time, what it means is they don't have a big enough why, they don't have a big enough desire, and you need to just ask questions to dig a little bit deeper, Carmen. That's kind of what I do. What did Letty say today? She'll say, well, do you have a family member that you can get it from? I think I've heard Susan Frank do that too. Well, who else has some money? I'm like, well, and I know this sounds crazy, you guys. And when I started doing this, I thought, are we really doing this? But you can, I mean, when they sell those 30 boxes of drops and they have almost $3,000 extra money in their pocket, now you have some money, you know?
Love it. Thank you.
Susan, that reminds me that when I was shown this business, that was my excuse. I told the guy, I literally said, I do not have time to do it. I'm coaching an 8A football program with 3 kids in diapers. And even if I did, I don't have the money to sign up. And he looked back at me and said, well, how much longer you want to live like that? And the answer was, I didn't. I want to live like that no longer. I was sick of being freaking broke. So I'm not as good as Susan at saying things. It makes me uncomfortable. But if you can just muster the courage to say it, listen, That's why I'm here today. That's why we need the 30 pack. We sell 30 boxes. It's going to make you $3,000. Let's get her done.
Yeah, Todd, when you come, so I'm hosting a retreat, you guys, at my house, the horse farm that I just moved on to, and Todd's going to be there, and we're going to teach Todd how to breathe and be in his body when we start talking to people. I mean, he gets out of his body. I'm like, get back in your body. Where'd you go? He's like, this makes me so uncomfortable. I just want to walk away. I was like, just sit here and watch. So you guys, I'm telling you, every one of you can do it. Like every one of you can do it. And you don't sell on how much it costs. Keep speaking into how much they're going to make over and over. How much money, this is how much money you can make. This is what this created for me. Like if you look how much other businesses take to start. Like if they're a business person, speak into that. If they're a stay-at-home mom that wants to pay for gymnastics, and Carmen, like you said, a single mom, and you want to pay for gymnastics and hockey and travel ball for your kids, how much money does that cost you? Well, it's costing me $700 a month. Can I show you how to make $700? Take a look at this. Like I can help you sell. So you just always qualify there. If you sit there like mute, you've got to ask people questions, and they'll tell you. Just ask them a question and they'll tell you what's really behind what their fear is. But they can do it. Like everybody can do this. Like we have crazy momentum, incredible products. Like we have everything that it takes.
Okay, so we've got about 18 minutes to run this right to an hour. So we're going to talk money and the start. So the first money you make is, we call it new volume bonus. But what it's tied to is that when you sign up a new brand partner yourself, meaning in Canada, you sign up somebody for $37.95, US $29.95. When they start buying products themselves, depending on where you're at on your buying a product, if you've bought yourself more than 1,500 points in that first 4 weeks, or people have placed orders on you, both work, and you've got to ultimate, you're going to make 30% on whatever the people you sign up start to buy or sell. So it's double the upfront money to be in at top pay, meaning you've sold 30 boxes or 3 10-packs. So if somebody you sign up goes ultimate in the US, that pays you $450. In Canada, it's going to pay you about $600. Make sure that if you are ready to start collecting money from the company, you don't need this for retail sales. You're going to collect that on your Cash App, e-transfer, Venmo, whatever it is you're using. But if you're collecting money from the company, you've got to have one customer a month, generally going to be yourself. That way you know it's there. You may have a bunch of other customers, but we call it a subscribe and save. It's 100 points of product no matter what country you're in. US, we have a lot of those packages right around 157. And with the 40% add-on in Canada, it's going to be around $200 for that auto ship, plus shipping and tax in both places. Okay. The other reason you want to be in at top pay is because that unlocks the first 3 generations of what we call matching bonus. All the rest of the pay plans unlock no matter what. But the matching bonus, what this is, and this works on everybody that you ever personally sponsor into the company. You just heard Shorty say he sponsored 61 people in his first 3 or 4 months. That means he has 61 people in his first generation. That means every single Friday, when those 61 people get their base paycheck from the company, Shorty gets a 15% match. So just ask yourself, would you like 15% of 61 people's paycheck next Friday? And the second question to ask yourself, in your current job, do you get 15% of everybody else's paycheck around you? And the answer is generally you don't. And Ken made mention that he's the top of his pyramid. The only problem with a pyramid in traditional business is nobody has leverage but the owner. So a lot of people know Chris Dole. He and I have worked together for years. When I met him, he had 430 employees and owned a manufacturing company that he ended up losing in the NAFTA agreement, went full-time in network marketing. But he used to always say that those 431 people, he didn't realize they all hated him till later down the road when they weren't working for him anymore, and he would see them out in public, and they were all slave labor, making whatever they were making, not even enough to pay their bills, and they were the ones doing all the work. And Chris was driving up in the Porsche, and they were driving up in the beat-up pickup trucks because they had no leverage. Only Chris had leverage. So that was the first thing he realized in network marketing, is that every single person he put into business had the potential to have the same leverage he had, and they had the potential to go make more than he had if they were better at it than he was. So it's the fairest. It's opposite of what the ignorant mind thinks about our industry. Our industry gives everybody an equal playing field. And the only way you make a lot of money here is you get really good at helping other people make a lot of money. Because if your team's not making money, guess what? You're not making money. It all rides hand in hand. But just know, back to this matching check. It's 15% match check of anybody that you ever personally sponsor, as long as you're in at top pay or gold status. Second generation, meaning when they sign up people, it's a 10% match and 5% on the third. This is crazy money down the road if you build a big team. I'm skipping some of this. Okay, we're going to talk about the team commissions, and this is how Susan Frank and Susan Cameron paychecks are so much bigger than everybody else's in a short amount of time, because you're going to see how the 10-pack plays into this. All right. So Shorty just went officer last week. So the first thing you have to understand in base pay is that you're going to be paid 15% of every transaction that occurs to unlimited depth on every leg of business you ever build, but the biggest. You get matching check on the biggest two, but not base pay. It's what keeps the company in business. So you can build as many legs as you want. Most people are going to start with 3. So this particular example shows leg 2 and 3 are the smaller legs for the week. You can see it, 4,000 and 2,700 times 15%. That would be $1,005 for the week. So Shorty went officer. To go officer, you would have had to have 6,670 points on a pay line. That is $1,000 of base pay. All of our titles are tied to money. So you go back and look at that, you can just see that if you add up line 1 and line 2, it was 6,700 points times 15% was $1,005, and that would bring with it the title of officer, which Shorty just got. Carmen also is officer. Okay, the next goal, and by the way, if you want to go officer just with 10 packs, then you need to sell 14 10-packs on 2 legs. That means no auto ships, no other growth, no other random purchases. If you just had 14 people order a 10-pack on 2 legs, that would make you officer. And if you had a 30-pack, you get divide that by 3. So you'd only need about, what is that, about 5 or 4.8 people to get a 30-pack on 2 legs, and you would go officer. That's the reason those 30-packs, they not only create upfront money for the who sponsored them, but it creates a ton of upfront money in the volume to unlimited depth. All right, our next goal, this is where the really big money begins. That is to make senior officer, which means you've made at least $2,000 in base pay. You've had 13,334 points. You multiply that times 15%, that's 2,000 in base pay. But when you make senior officer, it comes with a whole bunch of advantages. You get into a global bonus pool that is crazy lucrative. This is what it looks like. So if you have at least 2 legs, do 13,334. That is what we call an optimization. You're going to be paid $2,000 in base pay. But that triggers, that first optimization of a pay leg triggers an additional $500 in bonus money. There would be $300. You're going to get 15% more put into a savings account. So if you have 2 legs that optimize, 13,000 in volume, that's 2,800 weekly times 52 weeks is $145,000 a year. That does not include your new volume bonus of 30%. And that does not include matching check. And matching check generally over time catches and then surpasses your base pay. So if you're building a legitimate business, it may not be the first week you do it, but if it starts optimizing weekly and you get growth going and other people making money, it's generally going to be about $250,000 a year in income if you're hitting that title every week. And that's just with 2 legs. All right. If I want to optimize 3 legs, this would make you what we call CEO by title, but the bonus money significantly changes here. You're not going to get $2,000 per leg. You're going to get a $1,000 bonus and $500 put in the savings account. So you're at $5,500 a week, or $286,000 just in base pay and the bonus money. That does not include the 30% of personal sponsoring, and that does not include matching check. And always remember, over time, if you're building a legitimate business and you get other people making money, over time, matching check is going to catch and then surpass base pay. So a seasoned person that optimizes 3 legs weekly is generally going to be making about $500,000 a year. Susan wasn't very far off of that her first year in the company. And then this is optimizing 4 legs, 3 pay legs. You can see at the bottom there, the bonus money, everything, but it's about $468,000 per year before matching check. So if you add matching check in a seasoned business, usually going to double it minimum. So 4 optimizing legs weekly all year long would be close to $1 million a year in income. Now, this is the magic of the 30 packs. This is why Susan and Susan shut my mouth and do not let me mention anything but 30 packs. And if they have to revert down, the lowest they go is a 10 pack, because if you just had 9 30 packs enter a leg, it optimizes it. So if you want to do that with 4 packs, it's actually going to take about 8 times 9. So that's going to be, what is that? 68. What is 8 times 9? 54 people to optimize a leg on a 4 pack, 9 to optimize it on a 30 pack. So not only is all the upfront money exponential, not only is the retail money crazy good for the person that buys it, but if you get this moving in your team, most people are going to sell through a 30 pack in a month. Some are going to do it in a week. Some may take 2 months. You know, everything's a little different depending on the urgency, posting correctly, getting on IPAs and learning all the tricks to speed up sales. But generally after that, people are going to start ordering second and third 30 packs, and they're going to be able to place that at the bottom of a leg. And when they start placing those next 30 packs at the bottom of the leg, it creates all that volume. It doesn't require a new person. It's just people randomly buying. And it just creates exponential paychecks. But over time, you're looking for 134 people per leg per week with an auto ship, because 134 auto ships that run Saturday morning at 12:01 a.m. optimizes the leg. So, you know, Susan right now has some legs that optimize based upon 30 pack growth, but the ones that have been growing now for a year, the ones that like Barb and Lady and Debbie and Billy and Ann and that groups are all in. Some of those legs optimize when Susan wakes up in the morning. So it takes time to get the true residual built in, but you want to create that crazy upfront money because that's what drives everything. And this is just a picture of what it looks like when somebody goes and signs up a 30 pack at the bottom. Everybody above it. So if you put that 30 pack down on a brand new sponsor under 300 people, all 300 people get to share in that volume, either on a power leg or a pay leg. I showed you the savings account on those initial slides, but where that money's coming from is that when you start making at least $250 a week, the company matches 15% more into a savings account for you. That's what the company paid out just in North American savings account money last year. All right, coming to the end here, and I'm going to turn it back to all the leaders that put this together to share all their thoughts today. But I'm just going to read this to you. I got to put my glasses on because I'm getting older, but you will never change your life until you change something you do daily. The secret to success is found in your daily routine, not in your motivation, not in your want to. It's you've got to create these new little grooves in your brain and the way you think, and you got to create this discipline. And I really think anybody that wants to could build $1 million business in about 4 hours a day. And you can get started in an hour a day. Set aside an hour. I mean, turn Netflix off, turn the TV off, get up earlier, go to bed later. Like anybody can steal an hour a day that wants to. You got to want to. So why would you want to steal an hour a day or potentially up to 4 hours a day? Because you've sat down and you've been honest with yourself that you've got some desires in life that you actually can't get with what you're currently doing. You want to be debt free. You want to pay all your bills off. You want a new house. You want to pay your house off. You want your kids to go to college and not be carrying around student loans the next 2 decades, strapping their families down before they ever get started. Maybe you want to pay your kids' cars off and not have them go into marriages and stuff in today's hard world with all this debt accumulated and they don't even make good money yet. Like everybody's got something that they would want to steal an hour a day to make better for them and their family. And one thing I will tell you is that it's very easy to quit on yourself. So if you're single and you got nobody to take care of about yourself, it's very easy to cheat yourself out of doing this. But if you have got people you want to work for, that's your children, your spouse, your parents, like there's some things for other people and you actually tell them you're going to do it. Really hard to quit on a kid after you tell them you're going to put them into college without a student loan, or you're going to buy them a car when they turn 16. Like when you put it out there, well, you got to follow through. Most of us can't do that in traditional professional jobs anymore. We don't make enough money to buy our stuff and their stuff all the time. So I did all of that. And this is where I was when the network marketing industry found me. I was making about $50,000 a year. I was the only income in the family. At the time, my wife was staying home with our 4 children. They were all in diapers. We won the state championship that particular year. And there's the school I was coaching at. And I loved what I did. If you told me I was going to get out of coaching, I would have told you you had lost your mind. I would not have signed up in this industry just because you said it. But that's not what the guy said to me. He said, when I told him I was broke and had no time, he said, how much longer do you want to live like that? And I didn't tell him, I didn't even know the guy. I wasn't about to tell him what I was really thinking. I really just wanted to punch him when he said that because it pissed me off. But what I really wanted in my life is I didn't want to be broke and not have time. I wanted those two things. Who doesn't? Who wants to be figuring out how to pay their bills every day? Nobody does. It's a terrible way to live. No matter how hard this business is to get started, no matter how much rejection you deal with, no matter how many quitters you have to face, no matter how much skepticism your family may throw at you, try being broke for an extended period of time. It is so freaking complicated. I lived it for about 15 years of my life. I did exactly what the person told me. He said, write down your goals. And he also said, draw some pictures. So I did. I drew out a house. It took me 7 years, but 7 years later, that's the house I bought. And I was living, by the way, in a 2-bedroom rented house for $400 a month from the school system. And it was ugly. It was small. I had 2 kids sleeping in my dining room with baby beds. And 7 years of learning a new skill and creating, as Shorty said, leverage and residual income, everything began to change. That particular company had a car program that was a lot of the leaders in my business at the house that day in front of the barn. We had a little Lexus parade there. That was the inside of the barn, the outside of the barn. The barn was probably 3 times bigger than maybe 5 times bigger than my house was when I was coaching high school football. So I've always told people it's not how hard you work, it's how hard you work on the right vehicle. And this is the last slide. I'm going to end with this. This is not about motivation. Motivation is like taking a bath. You can use 2 bottles of shampoo and a whole bar of soap. And within 2 days, if you don't rebathe, you're going to begin to stink. Motivation sticks for a minute or two. Some of you will be motivated when you get off of this, and you're going to have 3 tragic things happen between now and bedtime, and you're going to be totally disengaged by the time you wake up in the morning because you're dealing with sick kids or a spouse or whatever we all deal with in life. It's like life it's relentless. So discipline is the difference between a man who dreams and a man who builds. Motivation is mood. Discipline is war. Like we're at war for our family's life, for our financial future. It's 5 a.m. alarms when everybody else is asleep, not paying attention. You got to choose your legacy. You got to discipline yourself to build an empire for your family. And when you do that, everything's going to change for you forever. And it's never going to be the same again. Susan Cameron did not even want to do this. Carmen Broad told the girl no for 6 months. She was making fun of people's posts. Shorty's the only one with vision on this. He said yes on the first phone call. So everybody's not going to find a Shorty. Most people, when this finds them, they're too busy, too stuck up, too much ego to pay attention. So once you do get involved, you're involved if you're here tonight, it's time to create war and discipline yourself into an hour or 2 a day. And listen, I have to remind Susan of this all the time. An empire's not built in a year. So when she doesn't make $100,000 for the week, she gets frustrated. I'm like, yeah, give it some time. Keep the consistency going with this energy level for 5 years, and you won't even have the ability to spend all your money. It's because it's residual. The thing about residual income, you don't have to be good with money anymore, because every time you blow it the week, it comes again the next Friday. It's not a one-time payment. It's not like a $500,000, $10 million selling a house. You got to go sell another one. Not here. Once you build it, it's coming and coming and coming. So that being said, Carmen and Shorty and Creddy and Susan, I'll turn it back to y'all to close this out.
Well, I'll go first. 2 things that Susan said that really struck me is intention and belief. You have to set the intention of what you're doing, and I believe that this is the greatest company that I have ever seen. And my intention is to put the people I know and love in this business, because I don't want anyone to ever be able to say, oh, well, how come you didn't show me that? You know, you didn't think I was good enough to, look at your deal. So the belief comes with plugging into the system. The IPA call 5 days a week in the morning at 8:15 Mountain Standard Time. You need to find a way to be on that. Like I know a lot of people are working at that time, whatever, but even if you can't watch the screen, you can listen to the audio, and you never know when you pick up nuggets of wisdom from people, and plugging into that is what's going to build your belief. There's a group of us going to Utah at the end of the month, and it's a leadership meeting, training, and that's going to be a game changer. So what we bring back from Utah is going to quantum leap this entire team. And then you, pardon me, you need to prepare to be in Dallas in September for the PXP event, which is the North American event, because you will get there in 3 or 4 days more than you would get without being there in 6 to 12 months. If you want to be successful at this and build this, you need to be in Dallas, period. The other thing that Susan said, we do two things. We sell drops and sign up people with 30 packs. That 30 pack thing is going to change our whole game in Canada. We're working on the PayPal pay thing. It's interest free, either 4 months or 6 months. You can make payments. So that takes the I can't afford this thing right out of the equation. Because like in the US, there should be nobody that ever says that, because you can finance it interest free for 6 months, sell all your drops, make your profit, pay it back, and you're laughing all the way to the bank, right? So if we get that implemented, Todd's gonna call Lucy tomorrow and have a talk with her and see what the progress is. But we're poised in front of a tidal wave of growth, and the time to do the work is right now, not tomorrow, not next week, not next month, not after PXP. The time to go out and prospect and post and follow up and touch base with your customers. Hey, you know what? I was thinking you might want to be in this with me. The time to do all that stuff is right now, today, tonight, tomorrow. Keep doing that like your hair is on fire, and you're going to need a bigger bank account.
I want a bigger bank account. I want to just touch on something also that Susan said. She says it takes the same effort to bring somebody in with a 4-pack as it does a 30-pack. And she's absolutely right. It takes the same effort. And also, I will add, we always bring people in how we come in. And that is so true. It's like, how did you come in? Well, I came in this way. So it's really important to set the pace for your team. And I know even for me in the beginning, I came in with a 1 box because I had zero intention on doing this business. And I think that kind of got me a little messed up in the very beginning. But I know now that we've only really just got drops on the ground here in Canada. We've been, buying out of an NFR cart and kind of, building as we go here. But now that we have drops on the ground here in Canada, we have 10 packs. We can buy 3 of them. We are on, we've got everything we need. I am so absolutely excited. And the other thing I want to say is you know what? We got to choose our heart. It's hard to be broke. It might be hard to build this business. You might, have to go out of your comfort zone, but it really, really is about making a decision and putting that intention out there, and also setting aside the time to do income producing activity. We have the system of growth in place. We have a system that we truly can just follow, copy paste. We've got a whole team of people around us that will help us and support us every step of the way. We're not alone. And I've never seen so much support in any company I've ever been a part of as I see in this one. And I just want to say thank you to Susan and Todd and Shorty and Krebs and all of you for showing up tonight. That just shows that you do have a commitment. You do see a vision here. You're excited about something. You made it on the Zoom tonight, and I think that's really exciting. And tomorrow, I just want to remind everybody that we do have Tim Sales on the income producing activity call in the morning at 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So I'm going to hand this over to you, whoever's next. Susan, Redmond.
Oh, thanks you guys so much. And that's what's so fun about this is helping each other out. We've got mixed teams here. A lot of people on my team are here. They're always so eager to learn. So you work with those that show up. So if you're kind of seem bashful or, oh, I don't know what I'm doing, like reach out, find the leaders in this company, make them know your name. Like every one of them knew my name. I met Tim Sells in Florida. I was telling somebody this other day, and I knew, or I heard that he was the top income earner in our company. So I sat down with him in Florida last year at PXP, and I was like, who are you? What do you do? And he's just like, what? And I was like, how do you make so much money? And like, I'm just picking his brain and in his face. I talked to him today. So you find the leaders, just like Todd. I asked Todd to do so many things for me. I'll have to tell Sarah, now tell me if he's going to say yes or no. He might say no to this one, but let me know so I can put it on my calendar or not. So work with your upline. They want to see you succeed, but they're not going to keep reaching down. If you're wounded and all of that, they're going to work with the leaders. Barb, she would wear me out at first in a great way. I mean, we would hustle. So those 3-way calls, they work every time. I mean, just like with Ken, who spoke earlier tonight, he said, yeah, I've heard my friend Cheryl talk to me about this, but it's actually when I heard it from you and I heard it from Todd that I actually believed it. We didn't say anything different, you guys. Like they just heard it, they just heard it a little bit different. So we are so excited for you. I need to know how Shorty put in 61 people in 4 months. But other than that, I'm excited to learn from all of you guys. And Carmen, you're blowing it up and you guys have just gotten started. I mean, the fact that the way that you've had to do it, it's going to feel so effortless for you guys. So all of us building, in Canada that's on my team. And so good luck to all of you guys. Go make $1 million a month because you can do it in this company.
I'll just keep mine short and sweet. Just what Carmen had said, you guys choose your hard. My hard right now I thought was going to be easy, which was buying this business. And guess what? I'm working harder every day than I ever expected to. So when I joined this business in January, it just was such a simple system. If you guys follow it, it will work. So just put your heart and your soul into this business. And believe me, just like Todd and Carmen and Shorty are talking about, it's the people that reach down to help you. And that's where my belief is and his always will be. So thank you guys. Yeah. Have a great night, guys. Thank you.
I can't say enough about this company. Like Susan said, and even Shorty said, it was the first time in 30 years that my health started shifting, being on these drops. And when I started posting while taking the drops, I saw something that was supernatural. And that belief was what fed me to move through anything, any obstacle. And I plugged in, absolutely. I was consistent posting, absolutely. I was invited to a leadership meeting, a retreat at Susan and Frank's house by Susan Cameron. And I took my dear friend, Debbie Justice. I met some of the most incredible leaders there. We bonded. We did some healing energy work. We did some, shifting of limited beliefs. And we got our why with Todd's wife, Ashley Rowland, got deep into our why. That was the foundation of who I am now. But what happened in the weeks, in the days that went by, 30 years of ill health, I started restoring these products restored my health. And not only that, but financially, we were living paycheck to paycheck for more than 5 years because COVID beat us up. And we ran out of money and we had to use credit cards for everything because we could, but 25%, broke is broke, but we had the plastic money. So now, we just plugged in, we're consistent. And I said to Debbie a week after I got in, she wasn't even on social media. She did not see my post. I didn't call anybody. She was the first one I called. I said, Debbie, what? I said, I'm losing weight and I'm making money. You got to hear this. That's all I could get out. So I invited her. Okay, send me some information because she's all about numbers, right? She needs to see the numbers. So I sent her some videos, compensation plan, things of that nature. Okay, I'll meet with Susan Cameron. Well, she was only going to come in with a 10-pack because her husband was in between jobs. He's a contractor worker, right? And then she got in front of Susan Cameron, and Susan Cameron showed her the numbers, showed her the savings, because you can save $400 in buying the 30-pack. I came in with a 30-pack. I sold a 30-pack in 1 week's time. In 90 days, in 3 weeks, I sold 90 boxes. So my belief was high because it was restoring my health. And someone like Susan believed in me. So I believed in myself because they believed in me.
And you guys, now Barb comes to my house and we have a trampoline out in the yard, and she'll climb up the ladder. My son's only 9, and he makes jokes all the time, and he's like, I'm Barb. Look at me. I feel so good. Get some content. I mean, she is out there like, it's incredible. So you're right. This is what we have to remember, you guys, how sick we were when we started this. Like, I would travel and I would be in the bed for weeks at a time after traveling. I was so sick and so hopeless. And my whole why started out with, I wanted a organic mattress for my son because my husband wanted me to buy one at Big Lots. Are you kidding me? And I wanted a dog, a hypoallergenic dog. And so I wanted something small. So as you build, find out their why. And if they don't have a why, get us involved, get Todd involved. All they need is a why, a vision, right? Without vision, we perish. So it can be very small and it can get bigger and bigger. And now I need a new vision, Todd. I need a new vision. It needs to be more than money, though. It's got to be way bigger. So you guys are amazing. Y'all have a beautiful, beautiful night.
Good night. Thank
See
you,
you guys. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.